Olix triples to $3.3 billion valuation with $312 million round. The 25-year-old founder just pulled in Arm and Reed Hastings together. Optical inference now draws hardware veterans who see beyond GPU roadmaps. This forces NVIDIA to either license photonics or lose inference budgets at scale by Q4 next year. Efficiency numbers already match the workloads cloud operators run daily. Few European hardware plays reach this size without American channels, but the close happened anyway. Design wins in the next 2 quarters will decide if the valuation sticks. Neura Robotics raises €1.2 billion in record robotics round. Deployments at VW and Deutsche Post already prove the arms handle real production lines. The record round leaves capital gated behind execution for most German teams. This pressures KUCA to match autonomous capabilities or seed deals within 18 months. Sifted data shows more raised in 6 months than the prior 2 years, yet only teams with factory references will clear the new bar. Competitors without similar proof now face longer fundraising cycles. Index Ventures closes $2 billion fund for AI growth. Index now covers every stage from seed to growth with one partnership. That hands them first look at AI teams before others see decks. Sequoia must match the multi-stage approach or watch founders migrate within 12 months. Assets under management hit $3.5 billion. Dry powder at every level will shift how seed rounds get priced when growth capital follows fast. The test arrives when early bets require follow-on in tighter markets. Horizon 3 hits $2 billion valuation in $250 million Series E. Tripling in 14 months puts the autonomous agents in Node 0 on a collision course with legacy security platforms. Palo Alto Networks must now either acquire similar agent technology or accept slower remediation times that customers will notice. The Series E, co-led by Night Dragon and NEA, brings capital for global expansion beyond its current footprint. AI-native security shifts the economics from signature updates to agent deployment cycles. Enterprise RFPs will now demand agent-based remediation on every renewal. June raises $20 million pre-seed backed by Mark Benioff. Benioff's backing highlights that AI models deploy easily, while integration with Salesforce and ServiceNow remains the actual blocker. Salesforce must now decide whether to build its own deployment agents or partner before customers shift. The pre-seed targets the gap between demos and production workflows. Observers note most value stays locked until legacy connections work. $20 million buys time to prove those connections before bigger rounds. Live enterprise installations will determine the next milestones, not benchmarks. With Snap sidesteps specs pre-order questions on earnings, Spiegel dodged every pre-order query because the pipeline looks thin. Hands-free AI sounds compelling until you price the silicon and cameras against Meta's existing traction. The BOM concerns raised online are real. Without volume commitments, the unit economics stay ugly. Snap now needs enterprise deals to cover the first production run, or else the September launch becomes a limited drop that never scales. Watch how this forces Meta to accelerate its own next-gen frames with tighter integration to Instagram ads. Superblocks partners with AWS for enterprise vibe coding. The AWS tie-up moves the fight onto infrastructure where pure SaaS players can't follow. Enterprise buyers now demand data residency guarantees that force every other AI app builder to either license their own cloud regions or lose the regulated verticals. Superblocks 3.0 security agents will set the new baseline for inference SLAs. That requirement alone could double the cost of serving mid-market customers who previously ran on shared tenancy. Competitors without similar deals will face exactly that squeeze next year. Ore Energy raises $43 million for AI data center batteries. Europe's grid constraints just became the binding limit on AI scale, not the GPUs. Ore's long-duration tech targets the exact mismatch between renewable peaks and constant inference loads. Data center operators will now have to model battery depreciation into every new cluster bid or accept higher latency during brownouts. That changes the ROI math for the next wave of European builds by 2026. Plural and HV Capital are betting the policy push for local energy storage will outrun cheaper Asian alternatives.